Well, hello guys, welcome to play review ExCaL, and we got a 2-for-1 here. We got ThePoeT versus ThePoeT, two channel members. I believe replays were from a tournament as well, so you'd expect both players to be at max. So I'm going to look at this both ways really. ThePoeT is the one that sent the replays to me, but I think just useful to look at it both ways. Now, I mean, I've said this before on this map, unless you are going for the aggressive TT, I think all three supplies should be made before the barracks, and I do think the barracks should be boxed like ThePoeT is here. Yeah, and so you are doing 3 supplies, but you're delaying yourself. Both players are. So, yeah, this is not as optimal as it could be. ThePoeT's actually going for a TT. I think this build is okay with demo. I'm not a massive fan of it with stealth, just because if the TT doesn't hit, stuff's really exposed here, and we don't have enough workers on any of your supplies really. Do get a connection on the arms dealer though, and decent bit of harassment as well. Now actually, if we had a bit more of a forward tunnel here, I think with the army of quads ThePoeT has, it could actually end the game. But, you know, every second is valuable now, and if ThePoeT starts spamming out some units, then he's going to have enough to hold. Oh, and that is a super tech, isn't it? So no scrap deny. Lost a quad here. Don't like this from ThePoeT. This is almost potentially a throw in terms of the fact that he's got so much map control here. Super tech though is probably going to come back and save the day. Yeah, it does. Tunnels here, tunnel there. All ThePoeT has to do is hold. Again, both players need to be a little bit more on top of getting their workers saturated. I'd like probably an extra tunnel here. And I actually think this is risky from ThePoeT. Like, you don't have to clear this. In the end, it was enough, but yeah, I mean, as I say, if you've got this much of the map, all you need to do is hold. So you don't risk it by going to attack into a tunnel. Definitely don't risk it. Yeah, like here, very unnecessary what ThePoeT's doing there, throwing away units, going into defender's advantage when generally all you need to do is camp. ThePoeT is the one that needs to pack on the pressure right now. So in summary here, I think both players' build order wasn't optimal. They didn't supply first. Both players did not get their full complement of workers enough. And if you are going for the TT, then you've got to change the build a little bit and maybe try and get an early sneaky worker there, potentially. Be quite good, or even early sneaky worker there, to then essentially pop those 4 or 5 quads you had instantly. The delay there, plus the lack of scrap deny, just meant the follow-up was way too late. And this game is over. This game is very over. So, yeah, I mean, if I'm in blue's position right now, I'd try and get a load of buggies up, trade as efficiently as I can, but this is 95% over, if not higher. Again, unnecessary from ThePoeT to do this. He could literally kill the oil from here. No need to actually do what he's doing. Yeah. Just fast forward to the end of the game now. Wherever ThePoeT goes, he's just shut down and fighting into defender's advantage. Yeah, about the 5th time Pocha's unnecessarily attacked, I would say. Like, you just sit back, make markets and scuds in this position and defend around your tunnels. Because you could, of course, take worse engagements when you're attacking, and you can run into demo traps, so it's definitely more risky doing that. Not gonna matter though, I mean, it's 2 oils up, a supply up, multiple markets, and yeah, it's GG. So there will be a reverse of this. It is both ways, so we'll see build orders look any better second time round. They do. Yeah, so the ThePoeT tweaked it by playing that aggressive build very late on the supply there. But as I say, the follow-up's as key as the TT, and not having that extra tunnel was a problem. And if you're going to be that all in, you could maybe do it off 2 supplies actually, because you basically in the previous game lost all your workers anyway because they were so exposed. There we are. But anyway, the supply first I prefer. Arms dealer's very late though. I mean, look at the difference there. This one's almost complete. And not sure about this tunnel setup, to be honest. Lack of workers once again. That is already over. That is already over this game as well. It's going to be a fast one for Pocha. This. No arms dealer. And basically, I mean, only 3 workers there. I mean, the ThePoeT's like on 1 supply right now, pretty much. Bit of harassment that's taking place here. Has expanded over there very quickly, so he's gone completely opposite to the previous game. But a lot of my reviews show how much eco you actually lose if you don't get your full complement of workers up. And what I like about Pocha's follow-up is he's a lot quicker with that tech RPG blob, and he dropped a tunnel off as he did it, so the momentum is really going to swing now. Yeah, and those GG. Now I will say it time and time again, so much in any format is dictated by how the opening phase and early phase of a game goes. So you really have got to not just clean up your build orders. As I say, in the last game, build order was slow. First game, the build order wasn't good, I would say. The second game, build order was slow. And then on top of that, just both players not having 5 workers instantly. And making poor engagement decisions, I would say. Especially Pocha in the first game. But all little things then add up. So that super tech in the first game really hurt the ThePoeT. So lack of scrap deny. Just a habit. You got to get in, really. Like, all players in all matchups get used to scrap denying, because you do not want to be facing a super tech, whether you're GLA mirror or as the China or even as a USA. You don't want to be facing super techs. Build order here looks okay. Would have liked an earlier tunnel over there. I think that tunnel's a bit aggressive as well. I probably would have placed it here in line this tower. Same issue there, and same issue here, only 4 workers. So 3 replays, same issue in all 3. So, clear feedback, you know what you've got to fix. Now, you are Tox here. So I think playing around a bunker when you were Tox, so you could bring 3 RPGs, a rebel and a worker, go in that bunker or this bunker or this bunker, start building a tunnel. Because if it tunnel gets up, the amount of time it takes for the China to clear that is so much, and it gives you a chance to then just take all your supplies, take the map, get a palace. Little mistake here that we didn't rally a rebel to that oil, so for me I'd probably go rebel here, rebel there, and then a rebel for my first tech, then the capture building upgrade. So, you know, these are all unforced error mistakes that we're seeing. And again, in a bit of a role reversal of game 1, it is up to the China now to attack, really. So all we need to do as the Tox is take this supply, that's a supply as well, tunnels and stingers, get up to the palace, spam for gamma buses, and that will win you the game, basically. A little bit late on the stingers, and where are we on the pop? Oh, we're not anywhere on the pop because we're attacking. So once again, completely unnecessary to do this. Like, you really don't need to attack when you have more of the map with the better army. You just sit there. Genuinely just sit there. What you're doing now is giving away XP. Give away too much XP. Carpet and artillery, then kill your oils. Liking the market spam though. Going for your quads. I mean, it's okay. I just think gamma buses are better. Especially as I've already said, I want you to be spamming lots of tunnels and stingers along here. So you just take the RPGs, put them in buses. Stingers are super good against mass helix. It's very, very late in locking this area off. There we go, so this is what I'm talking about. You've literally just lost a gigantic army to mines. For what, killing one flamer? Now I don't know what level the China is, but I would assume he is getting closer to level 3. Now we see the gamma buses, which I would have liked before. So I didn't like the third arms dealer approach. I think 2 arms dealers, 3 barracks would be better. But now we're in a much more dicey situation than we should be. Choice to flank the Infernos, and look what the gamma buses do. Oh, to a firestorm there. And that's probably the worst place to engage with gamma buses because the ECMs are there to deflect. But even so, still kill a helix. Those 2 buses did more than 20 quads did right here. And yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So you gave away so much XP, you're now going to lose your oils. Now these supplies on this map are infinite, so you can see why. If you just lock these off with mass stinger and tunnels, there's just 0 chance you would lose. You can even make a Scud Storm, you made 2. Definitely don't think you need 2 this matchup. Just 1 to deal with that is enough. And then making sure you have enough army and defense to not get broken. So yeah, similar errors in the first 2 games, as in the build order not clean, but a lot of decision problems here. A lot of decision making errors. Now the China has an infinite supply, so that makes it a little bit more tricky. Still haven't got this oil. Yeah, getting it now. So we're 12 minutes into the game. So 13 minutes. That'd be an extra 10k if you'd have captioned it around the 3 minute mark. So yeah. And you should still win this game. Should still win this game, despite, I'm going to say, like 3 or 4 major errors from the Tox point of view. That's how, you know, much better Tox is this matchup. Potcher needs to make something happen now. Drop it like a carpet and Artie. Hope he catches the units and then go in. Looks like that's what he's trying for. No, he's actually going for economy. Killed a lot of economy. One bus just zeroes this army. Yeah, Scuds where they need to be. And that is GG, but yeah, way dicier than it should have been. Way dicier than it. Okay, we're over on to Mountain Mayhem now. Tox is say, okay. Well, here I don't like 3 supplies before the barracks, because if Pocher is paying attention, he should dozer drop you here and punish you for doing that. And he does, yeah. So the 3 supplies first is only in GLA Mirror. Barracks has to be second here. And amazingly, actually, you're going to get away with it. Pocher was not looking in your base. That's why it's so important to look in the base. Yeah. Got a really greedy start here. It's going to work out for you. Best worker amount, or saturation I would say, so far in this set. And you're going for oil as well. I mean, this is exceptionally greedy what you've done here. And not really done any harassment yourself. Relying on like holding the bush, but techs are nowhere to be seen. They need to be basically engaging these Vs whilst they're engaged in the tunnel. So now you pop. Still should catch these Vs, you do. Now we need to spend the money. Tunnel stingers, tunnel stingers. Plus we're getting up to a palace. Trying to get a bit of a dozer hunt here. A little bit unlucky, nearly got it. I think making TTs behind this is good as well. Trying to get in the base when he's attacking. Yeah, exactly. Maybe be able to kill the dozer with that flanking TT. At some point that dozer needs to come out of the box to build either a strategy or, in this case, command center. Now we can make buggies. Yeah. Probably the best game so far. As I say, Pocher not paying attention really. Could have punished that speedy build way more. Those are drop on, I would say, the top 2 supplies. Been the best bet. And then a follow-up straight to the arms dealer. There was only 1 tunnel, remember. And Pocher probably would have taken that game. But I didn't like how the techs were out of position when Pocher was pushing. But after that initial point, I did then like the tunnel stinger setup here. Got your palace, and in the end, enough. This is what I'd call a more normal build from Pocher, getting a few tunnels out on the maps by both of those oils. Late with this one. Built a tunnel here. And yeah, I think you should go 3 supplies on this map over the oil. Really. Deny on a rebel there. Might lose this V though. Yeah, a bit of a micro error there from Pocher. Could have killed that V. Before losing his worker. But yeah, not a fan of the build. He's going to be able to get 3 oils though. Should add another supply in there. Second arms dealer is late. Also don't like the positioning. Very exposed. Better off here. And then tunnel stingers to secure that mission. Nice little TT. And it is up to the poet now to go and do some substantial damage, I would say. Tox is rich and the pathway is clearly right through the middle of the map. There's a super tech in the mix here, so there's been some lack of scrap denying going on. Fought out of position here. That will probably be the game, yeah. So Pocher spammed well. Half the army's missing here by the look of it, and push was very late. I mean, you can push before 4 minutes, I would say. These sort of situations. This game is over. Yeah, I would say neither player's really reacting to what the other opponent's doing. Like, both Toxes went different ways fairly greedy here. And there's nothing here, then keep driving and get to those arm dealers. There was a point when there was one tunnel here. This game is over now. So, I know this game is over. But I think the key part of this game, I'm just going to fast forward to the end. Yeah, we know it's over. I think the key part of this game from the Poet's point of view was... Let's see. So I reckon he could think about pushing now. Genuinely think about pushing. He stopped spamming, so could have had another V out by now. There's been a lack of scrap deny, so he's chasing a super tech that he shouldn't be chasing. And lost too much to it as well, so it all adds up. But imagine if there were 4 Vs and an Ambo going across the map right now. Podger's just dead to that. So this is what cost the Poet this game. Now, my second question is, how did Podger get that super tech? About to find out. So clearly, from this here, but you actually got yourself in a situation where you couldn't scrap deny it. So I think once you've killed a rebel, you could just go back there. And then, this dozer, yeah. And actually, once again, I think you... Oh, that one you could have scrap denied. Yeah, you could have scrap denied that. Back of scrap deny. So these things make a massive difference. They really, really do. Really do. Right, we conclude with a Nick versus Tox. And I've found lately that as the China going for a supply and a truck rush here, supplies at home and packing on the pressure, works out pretty good. If you're gonna do an oil build, I think double barracks is a must. So yeah, I'd rather 2 barracks to rush those oils out compared to what we're seeing here. But Tox, I mean, is disgusting on this map, so I do think not only is this the wrong version of this build, suboptimal, I don't think it's the correct build for this map. But we can look at it to see, you know, if it was me doing what you're doing, what would I do differently in this build. Getting some decent denies. But again, we have 2 oils at this stage. Watcher has 5. I mean, that is not what you want in the early game. Tox on this map. Would have liked the Palace before the second arms dealer, and I think Watcher just spam tunnels and stingers absolutely everywhere, because what you need to be thinking to yourself is, just want gamma buses, really. Oh, do not like that. Do not like that. You've got to be adding production and exploding right now. So there's no way you're going to beat a Tox doing here on this map. All of this is far too late. The palace is already complete. Potcher's palace boot was late himself as well. Yeah, don't like these Scorps without a rocket. It should literally just be gamma buses, which Potcher is doing now. And he can literally choose to do whatever he wants. He can defend, counter attack. So many options. And I've said this before, when you're on this map and you've got all the oils and supplies, really feedback is just spend your money, and I don't in a way care on what. I mean, as I say, if I'm Potcher, it's market. Well, it's not really markets, it's the odd scud, loads of tunnels and stingers, couple of markets for upgrades, and then just a battle bus en masse. Gotta spend your money there. As Potcher, yeah, probably need, yeah, definitely need an extra war factory. Minimum 3 war factory spam in here. Don't mind the new big tech as well. but too slow. Like, the more time you give the Tox, the worse it's going to be. And yeah, that's what I said. Poacher can choose to defend or counter-attack. Run into a few mines there. Could click down that prop. Doesn't click down the prop, but was focusing on defending here, and that game is over. So too slow. Wrong build order as well. And that is all she wrote, really. Just click there. Yeah, we know this game is over. Poacher on power as well, nicely done. Why not? Add that in as well, very nice. That's GG. Yeah, Poacher did good, I'd say, in this mid to late game phase of the game. Early game shaky, and early game all wrong from the Poet's point of view. Build order, follow up in terms of dropping a CC instead of production, and then just way too slow to push across the map. I mean, you want to be having overlords clearing the map and or getting into the base of the Tox before the palace is complete, and we weren't really even moving out, and Poacher had a palace, so yeah. Anyway, I'm glad we did a speed run of those replays. Build order for both. Sorting out your unforced errors, very important, and then some decision making there, which in other games could be costly. Both players on both sides, so we will leave that one there. Good to see that. That is a tournament set, so we can all make mistakes in a tournament. That is the highest pressure situation for 1v1 gameplay. But yeah, well done to both. Thanks for sending that in, and we'll see you in another video very soon.